Welcome back to BAM GPG, everybody. This week, we are headed to AT&T Stadium to take on the Dallas Cowboys, in which could be a defining game as both teams try to settle into the season. Packers are 2-1, Cowboys are 1-2, big stakes, plenty of storylines. Let's get into it.
Yeah, so we'll get into this game. But first, Bryson, I wanted to brush up on something from the game yesterday, right? So we touched on how bad the offensive line was yesterday. Well, we got the PFF grades in today for that. And folks, let me tell you, that was atrocious, right? The run blocking and the pass blocking, absolutely terrible. I dove back probably about 15 years, and I couldn't find a game that was worse than that one as far as where they graded out on pass blocking and run blocking. So their overall grade for pass blocking on the game was 15.5, and the run blocking was 45.5. So you go back to last season, the lowest grade Green Bay had in the game was that playoff game against the Philadelphia Eagles. They graded out in their pass blocking grade at that one at 45.5. And that one felt rough too. If you think back to it, it felt like Jordan Love was constantly under pressure. But a 15.5 it's terrible, right? Jordan Love, give him all the credit in the world for what he was able to do with essentially no offensive line in front of him. It was bad yesterday, and the first couple of games, it was respectable. They graded out at 64 against the Lions and 70.4 against the Commanders.
Yeah.
Run blocking, it's been a concern most of the season, with a 57 and 53 in week 1 and week 2. But to drop that down again to a 45, but the pass blocking grade of 15.5, I don't know if there's been a game that terrible in the NFL. That might be a record. Green Bay's certainly got some holes in that offensive line that need to be addressed. And it's everybody on that offensive line's front, right? It's not just one player that graded out poorly. We quickly run through them here. So you look at Anthony Belton, Bryson, pass blocking grade 39. You look at Elton Jenkins, the 33. Sean Ryan, he graded out a 24. Jordan Morgan, 22.5. Rasheed Walker, 15.7. Aaron Banks, 12.1. And then Elton Jenkins, 33.6. Not good.
Yeah.
And that's across the board. It wasn't one player, two player. It was the entire offensive line that it was atrocious yesterday from start to finish. And their run blocking grades, they weren't great either. Elton Jenkins graded out the lowest on there. Sean Ryan had
Anthony Bowen should have. Well, he didn't play that much, I guess. So.
Yeah, Anthony Belton, he had a 40 on his run blocking grade. Jordan Morgan actually did respectable. He had a 61.3 on run blocking.
I feel like he should have been lower.
Yeah, and again, they were playing Jordan Morgan at tackle, and I just don't think that's going to be a natural fit for him. I think he's more aligned to play guard/center, possibly, but I see Jordan Morgan settling in at guard. It would be nice if, we weren't seeing as many injuries and he was able to settle into one position. It's difficult in the NFL to move up and down the line, right? Because each position, it requires an entirely different set of blocking techniques, right? Whether you're at guard, center, or tackle. So it's tough when you're constantly rotating up and down the line. It's good to get that experience, but you got to have that continuity. You'd like to see him stay at one position if possible. So it was a rough game. Pass blocking was horrendous for Green Bay. And then again, Rich Bisaccia, he's the highest paid special teams coordinator in the game, or one of the highest, if he isn't the highest. Our special teams has been terrible year after year under his command. Yesterday, atrocious again, 38.5 grading out on the special teams report card. So not good. They got to figure something out, or Rich has got to go in Green Bay, right?
Yeah.
So special teams has always been a concern, at least the last several years under his command. So they got to figure something out in that area. But that offensive line, they got to figure that out and get right quick, because that, again, we're getting into that Dallas matchup, Bryson, this Sunday evening. So we'll get into that quick. So, as you knew, the Packers started off the season 2-0, defeating the Lions, Commanders, and we had that really, really disappointing loss yesterday against the Cleveland Browns, 13-10, a game that we led 10-0 deep into the fourth quarter. I think with just 4 minutes left into the fourth quarter, we had a 10-0 lead. And we all know what happened there. So, the Cowboys on the flip side, the Cowboys are 1-2 with their lone win coming against the Falcons. They pretty much got manhandled last week. They made Caleb Williams and the Bears look good, losing 31-14 in Chicago. So that's tough to do. It's tough to make those Bears look good, give them some false hope. I think they'll probably come back down to reality after this weekend. But the Lions, injury side, CeeDee Lamb looks like he's going to be out for about 3 to 4 weeks with a high ankle sprain that he suffered in that Chicago game. So it doesn't look like he's going to be ready to go for the game. Up to that point in the game, CeeDee Lamb
Yeah.
was their leading receiver with 16 catches and 222 yards. So it's a major blow for Dallas's offense, the major gain for Green Bay's defense in that aspect. So they will be without CeeDee Lamb for this game. And the Packers, their strength this year is their defense, right?
Yep.
Green Bay's defense has been very, very solid so far in 2025. They're allowing just 232.3 yards per game to the opposing offense so far this season. Obviously, a lot of that can be accredited to the new addition, Micah Parsons. You have to believe he's going to be hungry for this game, right?
Yeah.
He's going into Dallas, Bryson, facing his former team. You know, there's got to be a little bit of animosity there. Maybe not so much with the players as there is with the owner slash GM, Jerry Jones. So that'll be an interesting one to keep an eye on there with Micah Parsons. But
Yeah.
again, it's not just the Micah show. You see his impact benefiting our secondary. You see it benefiting guys like Rashawn Gary, who looks like he's on pace to have a career season this year as far as sacks totals. So it's huge. You look at Green Bay's injury for this coming weekend. There's several key important spots. Devontae Wyatt, he is questionable with a knee. Zach Tom, obviously his oblique. I don't want to see him out on the field this weekend. Let him sit through the bye, let him get completely healthy, and then you bring him back. No sense of rushing him back. Javon Bullard, he is going to be in concussion protocol, it looks like, after that hit he received yesterday. And then Aaron Banks, again, he went out with a groin injury yesterday, so he is also on the injury report. Again, another guy I probably wouldn't rush back. Let him sit this game, let him sit through the bye week, and then you bring him back when they're fully healthy, right? So the Cowboys, you know, defensively, they've struggled this season. You saw it, especially against Chicago, right? So far, they've allowed 92 points through 3 games to the opposing offense, is putting them amongst the worst in the NFL when you look at that stat alone. Their pass defense, it's been a real struggle for Dallas so far this season. Big plays by opposing offenses have been a concern for the Cowboys. So I look for Green Bay and LaFleur, as long as we can block their pass rush, to exploit that a little bit on Sunday. Now,
Yeah.
the offensive leader for the Packers, Jordan Love, right? So a lot of people calling for his head today, not warranted at all, right? You look at that pass blocking, he didn't have any time at all on Sunday. So, I mean, you have your offensive line grading out at a 15.5 in pass blocking. Not Jordan Love's fault one bit. I thought he played respectable for, you know, as much as he had to run around back there and as much pressure as he had. He looked poised, even though he was being rushed nearly every play from that defensive front. So Jordan Love, he's still the guy, right? I think he's still a top quarterback in this league. He has 663 passing yards in 3 games, 5 touchdowns to only 1 interception. He's only thrown 1 pick in the previous 9 games. So that's pretty awesome, right?
Yeah.
You look at his injury prone season last year where he kind of had that string of interceptions. I credit that to just not playing healthy. It looks like he's back on track. Again, this past weekend, he threw a pick, whatever. He was under pressure nearly 99% of the game. So it is what it is. It was a bad read.
Yep.
He was rushing. It's going to happen when your offensive line's blocking for you like they
Yeah.
were that game. And then Tucker Kraft, he is the Packers' leading wide receiver. I look for him to be active again. He has 169 receiving yards on the season, but I also look for people like Matthew Golden to step up. I thought they got him involved a little bit more this past game. I look for that to kind of ramp up as we go on without Jaden Reed and Christian Watson. And
Mm-hmm.
the Cowboys offense, you always have to respect Dak Prescott. He has 800 passing yards, but his interception number is starting to creep up a little bit. He does have 3 interceptions on the season. And where I think the Cowboys' strength is, Bryson, is a running game. They've graded out well all season of the running game. So
Yeah.
Green Bay is able to control that. I think we win this game. Again, Dak Prescott he's a respectable quarterback, right? He's a good quarterback still.
Yeah.
He's going to be without CeeDee Lamb, so that's going to hurt him a little bit. But I think if Green Bay can control that running game, I think our defense will be just fine once again.
Yeah.
Now, we talked about Micah Parsons, revenge game. That'll be exciting to see. We'll kind of break down some more of these matchups as we get a little bit further into the week. We'll kind of look at some of those head-on-head matchups from the defensive and offensive fronts there. And we'll give a prediction here probably towards the end of the week here, Bryson, as we get a more clear picture of what the injury report's going to look like as we dwindle into the week. We'll kind of throw a prediction out there, see where we're at. But again, this is not going to be a pushover game, same as Cleveland. Dallas is 1-2 on the season. They're trying to get right. It's going to be a statement game for whatever team wins this, and they're going to give us their best shot. So Green Bay's got to prepare this week. It's not going to be they're not going to roll over for us. They're at home. It's going to be a tough game. I'm excited to watch it. And as always, Bryson,
It's go back, go.